Good morning, friend. Today I want to talk about suicide. What is suicide? Suicide is an emotion bond that we created attachment to a partner, especially sexually partner. So when we have sex with that sexually partner, we create emotional bond with them. And then when we get separated from each other, we're gonna feel a strong connection or something missing inside. We are going to have imaginary image of what it could look like if we stay with that person. Or we're gonna go into the social media profiles and look at the pictures, see how they're doing. And having fancies of what's gonna look like if we stay with that person. It's a part of them, it's part of in us, and part of us is in them. So when that happens, we create this missing piece of something you really want them back because a really strong connection. That's why. That's the main reason why a lot of domestic violence survivors go back to the abuser. Because they have that strong emotion with them. Because part of the abuser is in them. And part of them is in them. The abuser. So they go back to the abuser. And no matter what happens, you will always want to go back with them. Because you missed that sweet time that happened between you guys. That's why that you want to go back with it again. That's what they call it cycle of violence. Because they're always going back with the good time they have with that person. No matter what the abuser or not. That trust is really strong. That could connect you to go run back again to the abuser, even though they were bad person to be with. That's why. And I know a lot of how those women feel practically. They want to go back to the abuser. Well, I'm not a domestic violence survivor at all. But I believe that violent will, but we are violent. Because I was abusing my children. So I find myself a lot of having imagination of how it could look like if I did it with my children. Or how I go to the prophet, Peter Huffy girlfriend, even though he lied to me about it. Go back to his girlfriend, look at the picture of him, just to see how he's doing. Stuff like that. Because that is totally what I do when we separate. It's a great out to bondage when we stuck. It's a cycle of wanting that person back, no matter what they were back to or not. That's why they wake up back up. Also, I have seen a lot too with the rape victim, the rape survivors, where they always look at the profile picture of the rapist, or have the imagination of what the rapist could be doing now. Because again, they still have that soul side, even though that they did not create a relationship, they still have soul side, because that can create an emotion bond with an opponent. So that's why they're not go back because the social media look at them or the abuse or the rape or what they're doing. So that's why I feel the society as well. And I'm trying to break it. I am breaking it. So that's why they will always go back to the abuse and I feel like that. Also, but you can break it. That is a prayer of toes breaking toes high that you can break it. That we can break it. We will, and I'm going to show you the toe side prayer. They're going to help us to break apart that toe side that we created, or that I created before. Okay, so here is the prayer to break the toe side. I break all the toe side with the name of the person and cut off all the fluid from them. I send back to them what is there, washing the blood of Jesus, and I reclaim all that is mine, washing the blood of Jesus, and Jesus will receive me back. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. And have a great morning. And that's all. Good night. Good morning. Goodbye.